What's he got now? He wants to go big. No! No! But guess who? Republic Bank Classic catch tonight from KP.
Danny Hafeez wanted to go big. He went big, and along came Polly.
I look at the replay where he takes it, and it just reminds me of you going like you might as well be yelling at LeBron James. You know, these basketballers getting that high in the air to take this one-handed. And as we've discussed previously here on Rario Cricket, your best fielders, long on, long off. He's out there. Get it over me. I'm 6'4" or 5. And he's got these skills to call on. That's why Pollard has played a lot of cricket for the Mumbai Indians as well. Played pretty much all of his cricket in India with them in the blue shirt. Here with his home setup, loving it. Yeah, it was a big night, good night. And very tempting, of course, where we are right now at Warner, because it's not a very big boundary straight. Clearly didn't get all of it. And he probably thought it was 6. But I'm sorry, you're out of here.
Indeed. Tom, catches like this, they really do lift the momentum of a side and the energy of a side, don't they?
Well, they do, because there's such a significant difference between that going for 6 and the batsman getting out when it comes to how the game looks. So, they're massive moments in T20 cricket when you get the right fielder in the right position. They then do their thing and pull off something special, like Pollard has done with this example, where off the bat, the batsman's thinking it's 6, the dugout's thinking it's 6, and the only person that doesn't think it's 6 is Pollard, who's backing himself to jump up there with one hand, remain composed, balanced, right on the line, and take the wicket. So everyone's happy on the field except for the batsman.
Absolutely. But Tom, in a scenario like this, obviously the bowler has to balance the two thoughts of actually catching the ball and then keeping sort of his balance and staying within the playing area. So does either of them take precedence, or are they in a priority, or what's the fieldsman really thinking?
Yeah, generally when you're fielding on those straight long boundaries, the first and most important thing is to understand your space, know exactly where the boundary is, and also understand, depending on how big the boundary is, where you need to be positioning yourself from the batsman, because the last thing you want to do is be too deep on the boundary and the batsmen are hitting 2s at you. And the other opposite case of that is being too close in towards the batsman, and there is that sort of awkward gap between you and the boundary where you can get beaten with the ball being hit over your head. In the case in the Caribbean, more often than not, you need to be sitting pretty much on the boundary. You don't need to be walking in too far because the straight boundaries aren't that huge. So Pollard would absolutely understand where the boundary is. He hasn't come in too deep, so he has to just make the timing of his jump right and just regain his balance once he hits the ground again, which he does perfectly.
And obviously excited by it, so he does a little jig at the end. Danny, we've seen, Polly through these last few days, batting, bowling, catching. I mean, he can literally have an entire Rario collection of his own, can't he?
Yeah, and the other thing, he's another great player in this format. Doesn't play really much else, does he? He's played a little bit of one-day international, sure, but has dominated so much in T20. And what is he, about 30, 34 these days? And you look at it there, he's got if he can stay fit, and as Moods mentioned, he's in knee issues because he's such a big fellow. The challenge for Pollard now to eke out, every ounce of his ability to get to, say, 37, 38, 39, can he last that long? I think a lot will be hoping so, because he's another one. He loves to impose in the dressing room, but also share knowledge, invite other players in to speak about things. He's another, bit like your Darren Sammys and Chris Gales and these guys that have had such an influence in Caribbean T20 cricket. They want them to stay on as long as possible, Sure, you could argue, great, that's what you do for a living. You want to do it as long as you can. But the other more sort of socialist side of it is that it's just nice to be able to then give to the next generation and help your brothers that are coming through. And it's not all just about you. It's about the next guys and helping that next group that's a lot younger down to keep coming through, to keep this growth thing happening. Because at the end of the day, we're all fans, aren't we? We're all fans at some degree, and you want them to do well.
And we want to see them as long as possible. So that's for sure.